Hello everybody, this is going to be the third part of my MLA series. Remember, the first part was on MLA documentation and how to format the essay. Part 2 was on the in-text citations, how to create those. And then now this is part 3, and it's the works cited, the basics. If you take a look, everything when you do the works cited page should have the author, the title of the source, the container. Is it coming from a book? Is it coming from a website? What is holding it together? Other contributors were their editors, different authors, version number, publisher, what company is publishing it. Is it Townsend Press? Is it Random House? Publication date, was it published in 2009 or was it published in 1967? And then the location, where did you find it? So it could be a URL, and or a PP for pages. We'll take a look at this. Right now it means nothing to you because I'm better on visual, but we'll get to that and it'll make more sense. Let's continue. Let's just take an example here of an author. So remember, the works cited page is the last page of your essay. Let's say that we use Baron Naomi S. That's her last name, first name. The article, quotes around articles, period, quote, PMLA, where did it come from? This is the magazine it came from, volume 128, number 1. The date that it was published, and then PP period, where was it located? Pages, PP period 193 to 200. Or let's make it simple. This to me is an article in a magazine. Here we have a regular book, and we can tell by Jacobs Allen, last name, first name. The Pleasures of Reading in an Age of Distraction. It's in italics, so we know it's a book. Who published it? Oxford University Press. In what year was it published? 2011. Notice there's no print, there's no PP period. For books, this is it. It's pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward. In the works cited, it's saying that books and websites should be in italics. So here, so many books, it's the name, it's in italics. Modernism, Feminism, and Jewishness, it's the title, it's in italics. Down here, journals, articles, magazines, newspaper articles, television episodes, and songs should all be in quotations. For instance, a song by Beyonce, Pretty Hurts, is in quotes. It's the name of a song. Now, if we had the name of the album, then that would be in italics. Here, questions of transport, reading Primo Levi, reading Dante. That's in quotes because it's the name of an journal article, a journal article. And then the Georgia Review is the name of the magazine that it came from. So this is in italics. Okay, to me, I think they made an error here. So questions of transport is the name of the article. It should be in quotes. Where did this article come from? It came from the Georgia Review. The Georgia Review is in italics. That's correct. That's good. All right. Next, if there are other contributors such as editors or other people who add to the book, that will come after the title. Let's take a look. So Chartier, Roger is the name of the author, the book title, and then the extra contributor here was a translator. Someone translated it's probably from French into English. So translated by, and then give the name of the person, publisher, and the year. Let's look here. Hush, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So Hush is the name of the episode. Where did it come from? What show? Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And then it was created by Joss Whedon. This is the extra. He's the author. And then the extra contributors, Sarah Michelle Gellar. So these are the extra contributors. Here, Virginia Woolf. Wolf, Virginia. Jacob's Room is the name of the book. Annotated and with an introduction by Vara Navarro. So she is an extra contributor. She's not the main author. That would be Virginia Woolf. But notice that it comes after the name of the book or wherever it's being held, the container. And then, of course, Harcourt is a publisher. Harcourt Incorporated is a publisher. And then it was published in 2008. And in ours, we will have, let's say, this is I want to go here. Let's say Chartier Roger. We have an article. In the article or the reading came from Patterns of Rhetorical Writing, and then we would put the editors because our book has 2 editors. Then instead of saying translated by, we'd put edited by, and then list both of their names. Alright, let's continue. If we take a look here, we're going to talk about publication date. I skipped some of the slides in the PowerPoint, so if you're following along on the PowerPoint that comes from OWL Purdue, I'm skipping those because I want to stay with the most relevant things you're going to use. So the publication date. If you take a look here, this one is Film Quarterly. We know that this is a magazine, and so it was published in spring 2008. However, if it doesn't have a month or season or March, spring, fall, then you just put the date itself, 1999. So if it has the season or March or February, add it. If not, just use the year. And they're also saying here, if the source has more than one date, use the date as most relevant, because sometimes websites get updated a lot, so you may see different points or different dates. Use the most current date, and that will work. Next, we're going to talk about location. Where did we find this information? And I'm going to go back to PP period in a second. Let me go over this first. So the location, we can find it in a URL, which would be a website, or a DOI, which is if you use a database, a lot of the times the end of the document will have a DOI number. It's like that article or that document's social security number. That way, if you type in this number, boom, that article will come up. So the article has its own social security number, but it's called a DOI. So let's take a look. So let's say that we're going to use Chan Evans, blah, 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 blah. And then here, we're using a database, so it has a DOI. Put it here, okay? And then, and remember, they say they're optional, but I want you to add the DOI, or I want you to add the URL at the end where you found the information. Another thing that's optional is, when did you access it? I want you to put the access date. So maybe you accessed this on 23rd of July 2013, or maybe you accessed it on the 4th of July 2017. That would be last. I want you to add the access date in there. I'm going to update some of the forms that I've been previously using. I'm going to go to the actual website because I want to show you examples of this, and I think it'll make it clearer. Hold on one second. So let's say you found something on a website. Obviously, this one didn't have an author, so they're using the title. Where did they find it? What website? WebMD. When was this published? 25th of September 2014. And where did the website come from? Here, put the URL. But they didn't put the accessed. However, look here, accessed 6th July 2015. I want you to put the date that you accessed it. And then here, this one has an author, so it's Ludman Susan, How to Make Chili, what magazine, eHow. Here's the URL, and then she put the access date. So please include the access date for your database material in your online material. Anything that has a DOI or a URL, I would also want the access date. The last part I want to show you is the works cited in the context. Notice that this is the essay, and this is the final page. The works cited has its own page. It's in alphabetical order, and the ones I wanted to show you were these two here. If you take a look at this one, Drown, William and Solomon Drown, there are two authors. Compendium, this is in italics, so we know this is going to be a book title. And who was it published by? Field Publisher. In what year? 1824. So this is a really old one. But let's take a look at the next one. Historical Census Browser. They're starting with a title, so therefore we know there was no author. And who or where did this come from? It came from the University of Virginia Library. Probably maybe their website, obviously. And what year was this published? 2007. Where did you find it? What is the URL? Where was it located? And then the access date. So here, this is a book. There's no access date because they have the book in front of them. Here, this was accessed on the internet this day from this website. So I hope this helps everybody. Thank you.